keep us in mind. We're willing to need to show up somewhere, help us, any calls.
I want to go ahead and we'll begin this press conference today. I want to thank everyone for showing up. This is actually our first press conference here at FAST, and we're actually doing this in conjunction with a grassroots movement called Compadres, which stands for the Coalition of Organizations for Meaningful Public Policy, Disability Rights, and Empowering Services. In fact, I see in the audience some of our members that are some of our sister organizations in Compadres. Today we're calling Don't Cap My Care Day. And actually, this right here is one of 27 other state nationwide organizations, one of 27 other events happening nationwide that is corresponding with a rally in Washington, D.C. beginning at 11:30 about Don't Cap Medicaid. What's happening is the House Representative in Washington passed the American Health Care Act, and there was two clauses in that actually have very drastic effects for people with disability. The first one is a proposed $880 billion cut to Medicaid, and the second is a waiver program that allows states to waive the pre-existing condition protection out of private health care coverages. And so I do welcome you. My name is Michael Daniels, the Executive Director of FAST. We do have some speakers today, and so I believe that they can tell their story a lot better than I can. And so the first speaker that I would like to introduce, her name is Jennifer Perry-Breen, and she uses a communication device. And with that, Jennifer, let me move this a little bit closer to you, and you can go ahead.
I want to thank everyone for attending this event. My name is Jennifer Perry-Breen. I'm from Pensacola, and I am a recipient of Medicaid. Some politicians want to make Medicaid seem like a bad thing. I wear it as a badge of honor. To me, Medicaid means I can live with my mother in the community. The truth about Medicaid is a key service for Floridians with disabilities. The American Health Care Act includes over $800 billion in cuts to Medicaid. These potential cuts make my heart skip a beat and brings fear to the disability community. Nationwide, people with disabilities account for 15% of total Medicaid enrollment, but 42% of program spending due to their greater health needs and more intensive service use. Medicaid spending for people with disabilities is substantially higher than for those without disabilities, due to their greater health needs and reliance on Medicaid for expensive but necessary services. These services include assistive technology, long-term care, and nursing homes. These services are generally unavailable through private insurance and too costly to afford out of pocket. In addition, the American Health Care Act includes a fundamental change in Medicaid. Right now, Medicaid is an entitlement program, which means as the need grows, the partnership between Florida and the federal government grows. This would all change with per capita allotments. Under per capita allotments, states would receive a preset amount of funding from Medicaid. Typically, a base year of Medicaid spending would be established, and then the cap would increase by a specified amount each year, typically tied to inflation or inflation plus some percentage. I am not a very political person. I am a person that asks for only an opportunity and a fair chance. For me, that fair chance includes me using my speech-generating device and having access to health care services.
Thank you, Jennifer. I think that was well said. Our second speaker today comes to us by way of Family Cafe and the Florida Youth Council. And without further delay, let me introduce Derek Caraway. Derek?
Hello, I'm Derek Caraway, and I'd just like to urge lawmakers to consider these proposed cuts. Medicaid is very important for people with disabilities, and often people with disabilities have such special healthcare needs and other services. They'd be impossible to get without the extra assistance. Even by people who have private insurance, there's a lot of services that they need that the private won't cover, and that's personally been the case over the years for myself. A few years back, I had brain surgery due to uncontrollable seizures, and afterwards I had some issues in the recovery period, some behavior issues and some other things that required some counseling and some other things that my private insurance wouldn't cover. And if it wasn't for Medicaid and the services I was able to utilize from that, we wouldn't have been able to get them. And they've just been helps get other things. It helps out with doctors and medication costs and all kind of things. And I just urge our lawmakers in Washington to consider this before they make these cuts, because it affects everybody who has a disability, and there are countless people with them, and this would definitely affect their quality of life. And if there are many of these services through Medicaid, helps them to better be a contributing member to society like everyone else.
Absolutely. Derek, thank you so much. Our third speaker is going to speak about another issue with the American Health Care Act, as I did mention, is pre-existing conditions. And so what we wanted to do is first show what Medicaid cuts would do to Floridians with disabilities. And now what we want to show is what a waiver to pre-existing insurances for pre-existing conditions for insurance would do. And with that, I introduce Dr. J.R. Harden.
Thank you, Michael, Jennifer, Derek, for your eloquent and profound words on the issue of cuts and caps to the Medicaid and proposed American Health Care Act. There's another issue within this health care proposal, which is pre-existing. I have a pre-existing condition as a quadriplegic. Let me be clear. There's some confusion about the proposed changes as it relates to pre-existing conditions. The amendment was added to the American Health Care Act that would allow states to apply for waivers for insurance companies to deny individuals with pre-existing conditions and place them in a high-risk pool. My friends, this is the third attempt at high-risk pools. Each time they have failed, and each time we keep coming back to it. The American Health Care Act only funds these high-risk pools at $138 billion for 10 years. This frightens me as a person with a pre-existing condition, because as a young man, as I was graduating from college, I didn't have a whole lot of choices. The employment spectrum wasn't equal for me as it was for everybody else. And this was because of my pre-existing condition. My options were limited, and I wasn't certain where I might find work. I discovered that government was the only place in which I could find gainful health employment, health coverage with my employment. I wanted to work for corporate America, find that corner office of a Fortune 500 company, but they were able to deny me health care coverage because of that pre-existing condition. In short, coming out of college, like so many young people today coming out of college, I didn't have choices. They were limited. While nearly 25 years later, my career has been good. My capacity to contribute to here in the state of Florida as an educator, as a member of the disabled community, and an advocate has really been my good fortune. And it's been with health care coverage that I've been able to do this. Today, our graduates, unlike back in 1991, simply want options. They want to be able to choose where they best fit in our competitive global marketplace. However, persons with pre-existing conditions may once again have very limited options. The primary goal of the Americans with Disabilities Act was employment, for us to take an active role in life, to be able to participate equally like everyone else, rather than passively sit on the sidelines of life. Young people today have a very entrepreneurial spirit. They believe in creating a future. They would like to have as many options in the workforce as there are stars in the skies. But the new proposed American Health Care Act may limit those options. Allowing states to determine pre-existing condition coverage is a threat to the spirit of the ADA and fundamentally un-American. Again, I want to be very precise. The American Health Care Act allows states permission to facilitate insurance, to allow insurance companies to charge patients based on their health history. This would guarantee access, yes, but in reality, for those with pre-existing conditions, our fees, our cost would be astronomical, and thus no choice at all. I wholeheartedly urge the United States to remove this amendment from the American Health Care Act and to ensure that individuals like me, those with pre-existing conditions, have an equal opportunity in the workforce. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harding.